Welcome to Pumping Python. My name is Jacob Itegboje and this is lists. A list is a data structure that can hold any Python object. I can also change them after they're made by calling certain operations. Time to write some code. I will open the Explorer, then with Control and tilde on the keyboard, open a terminal. On Windows without subsystem, linux./make python tdd.ps1 lists. On the other operating systems, /make python tdd.sh. Lists as the name of the project. Enter to run it. It makes the folders and files that are needed, installs packages, then runs the first test. When I Control Option click on the file name, it opens in the editor. I will change true to false to make the test pass. Then change the name of the class to match the capwords format, capital L. Close the Explorer. I'll change test_failure to test_making_a_list. Change the assert false to assert equal and false in the parentheses to list parentheses comma none. The terminal shows assertion error. Square brackets is not equal to none. Change none to the empty square brackets. The test passes. This is how to make an empty list. I'm going to make one that has things in it. Self.assert equal parentheses list parentheses 0 comma square brackets. The terminal shows type error. Int object is not iterable. Hashtag type error in the list of exceptions encountered. I'll change the 0 to an iterable. I'll use a tuple. Parentheses 0, 1, 2, quotes n. The terminal shows assertion error. I will add that 0, 1, 2, quotes n in square brackets. The test passes. I can make a list with the constructor or with square brackets, which uses less characters. I'm going to add a test for the attributes and methods of lists, then use that to make a to-do list that I can use to test the different things I can do with them. DEF test_attributes _and methods _of lists parentheses self : at the end. Self.assert equal parentheses enter in between dir parentheses list comma at the end of the line square brackets enter in between. The terminal shows assertion error. Lists differ. There are a bunch of things that are in this list, but mine is empty. It also shows a message. Diff is 748 characters long. Set self.maxdiff to none to see it. I'll right-click the terminal, panel position, move it to the right. Then in the test, enter before self.assert equal self.maxdiff =, none. This tells Python to show me the entire difference between the lists. I'm going to select everything from _add all the way to sort. make a copy, hit tab in between the square brackets in the test, paste. Then select everything to the left of sort before the opening quote. I'm going to use find and replace to remove these extra characters. Option Command F on a Mac. On the other operating systems, Control H will open find and replace. I'll change this to 4, 8, 12, 16 spaces. So in replace, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Replace all. Close find and replace. And I'm going to ignore the things that have double underscore in their name. Select everything from append to sort. Make a copy. Enter 3 times after the closing parentheses, backspace twice, paste. Then select everything I just pasted, Shift Tab 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 to move it to the left. This is my to-do list. Right-click the terminal, panel position, select bottom. Back in the test, enter twice after the closing parentheses, add def test underscore append, parentheses self, colon at the end. A underscore list equals sign square bracket 0, 1, 2, quotes n. This makes a list that has 4 things in it, and 3 of the things are numbers, the last thing is a string. You can use anything, I'm just showing this as an example that a list can hold any data types. Self.assert is none, parentheses, a underscore list dot append, parentheses. The terminal shows type error. List.append takes exactly 1 argument, 0 given. I'll put 0 in the parentheses as my input. The terminal shows green. The append method returns none. I'm going to add an assertion to see what it did to the list. Self.assert equal, parentheses, a underscore list, comma, square bracket, 0, 1, 2, quotes n. The terminal shows assertion error. Comma after the n, put a 0. The test passes. I'll change the 0 I gave to the append method to be quotes n plus 1. The terminal shows assertion error. Change the 0 in the expectation to quotes n plus 1 to match. The test passes. I'll change the name of the test to be test underscore append underscore adds underscore item underscore to underscore end underscore of underscore a underscore list. Then remove append from the to-do list. DEF test underscore clear parentheses self colon at the end. A underscore list equals sign square bracket 0, 1, 2, quotes n. Self.assert is none, parentheses. A underscore list dot clear, parentheses. The terminal shows green. Self.assert equal, parentheses, a underscore list, comma, square brackets, 0, 1, 2, quotes n. The terminal shows assertion error. When I remove the things in the list, the test passes. I'll change this one to be test underscore clear underscore empties underscore a underscore list. Then remove clear from the to-do list. DEF test underscore copy parentheses self colon at the end. A underscore list equals sign square bracket 0, 1, 2, quotes n. Self.assert is none parentheses. A underscore list dot copy parentheses. The terminal shows assertion error. Comma before the closing square brackets, comma before the closing parentheses, comma square brackets 0, 1, 2, quotes n. The terminal shows assertion error, but the values are the same now, so I'll change the assert is none to assert equal. The test passes. I'll change the name to test underscore copy underscore a underscore list. Remove copy from the to-do list. DEF test underscore count parentheses self colon at the end. A underscore list equals sign square bracket 0, 1, 2, quotes n. Self.assert is none parentheses. A underscore list dot count parentheses. The terminal shows type error. List.count takes exactly one argument, 0 given. I'll put 0 in the parentheses. The terminal shows assertion error. 1 is not none. Comma 1 before the closing parentheses. The terminal shows assertion error. 1 is not none, colon 1. Change the assert is none to assert equal. The test passes. 0 is in this list one time. I'm going to add one a few more times, then see or add an assertion for it. So 0, 1, 2, 1, n, 1. Add self.assert equal parentheses a underscore list dot count parentheses 1, 1. The terminal shows assertion error. Change that 1 to 3. The test passes. What if I try to count something that is not in the list? Self.assert equal parentheses a underscore list dot count parentheses quotes not in list, comma 3 as the expectation. The terminal shows assertion error. Change that 3 to 0. The test passes. I'll change this to say test underscore count underscore number underscore of underscore times underscore item underscore is underscore in underscore a underscore list. Then remove count from the to-do list. DEF, test underscore extend, parenthesis self, colon at the end. A underscore list equal sign square brackets 0, 1, 2, quotes n. Self.assert is none, parentheses. A underscore list dot extend, parentheses. The terminal shows type error. List.extend takes exactly one argument, 0 given. I'll put 0 in the parentheses. The terminal shows type error. Int object is not iterable. I'll make this a tuple instead. Parentheses 0, 1. The test is green. Self.assert equal, parentheses, a underscore list, square bracket 0, 1, 2, quotes n. The terminal shows assertion error. Comma after the n, 0, 1. The test passes. I'll change the values I gave to the extend method. So 0 will be 2, 1, 0. The terminal shows assertion error. 2 after the n, 1, 0 to match. The test passes. I'll change the name to test underscore extend underscore adds underscore items underscore from underscore and underscore iterable underscore to underscore end underscore of underscore a underscore list. Remove extend from the to-do list. DEF test underscore index parenthesis self colon at the end. A underscore list equal sign square bracket 0, 1, 2, quotes n. Self.assert is none, parentheses. A underscore list dot index, parentheses. The terminal shows type error. Index expected at least one argument, got 0. I'll put 0 in the parentheses. The terminal shows assertion error. 0 is not none. 0. The terminal shows assertion error. 0 is not none, 0. Change the assert is none to assert equal. The test passes. But this does not tell me whether the 0 I get is the 0 that I gave. So I'll change the list. N becomes ... last. That's 3 dots. 2 will become quotes third, 1 will become quotes second, and 0 will be quotes first. The terminal shows value error. 0 is not in list. Hashtag value error in the list of exceptions encountered. Then I will remove the things around the call. Change the 0 to be more descriptive. Quotes not in list. The index method raises value error when the item is not in the list. I have value error not in list is not in list. Enter twice before the line. With self.assert raises parentheses value error colon at the end. Move the next line to the right. The test is green again. I'll try this another time. So self.assert equal parentheses underscore list dot index parentheses quotes first comma quotes first as my expectation. The terminal shows assertion error. 0 is not equal to first. Change that to 0. So the 0 I got the first time was right. Self.assert equal parentheses a underscore list dot index parentheses quotes third comma 0. The terminal shows assertion error. Change it to 2. The test passes. Self.assert equal parentheses a underscore list dot index parentheses quotes second comma 2 as the expectation. The terminal shows assertion error. 1 is not equal to 2. Change it to 1. The test passes. Self.assert equal parentheses a underscore list dot index parentheses quotes dot 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 last set the expectation to 1. The terminal shows assertion error. Change the 1 to 3. The test passes. The first item has an index of 0. The last item has an index of the length of the list minus 1. But what if I had the same item in the list multiple times? How does it know which one to give me the index for? Put a comma after dot 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 last, add quotes first. The test is still green. I'll add an assertion. Self.assert equal parentheses a underscore list dot index parentheses comma 4. That's what I'm expecting to get back because the second one has an index of 4. The terminal shows type error. Index expected at least one argument got 0. In the other assertions, I only gave one argument, so I'll give 2 this time to see if that makes a difference. Quotes first, comma 0. The terminal shows assertion error. 0 is not equal to 4. Change that 0 to 1. The test passes. Okay, so the second item given is the index it should start from. And when I give 1, which is the index for second, it finds first as the fourth at the 4th position or the 4th index. Okay, I'll try this with the other ones. If I do first, comma 0, the test is still green. Third, comma 0, still green. Second, comma 0, still green. Last, comma 0, still green. What if I changed it to 4? I get value error. I can't find it once I go beyond its position or its index in the list. Okay, change that back to 0. The test is still green. I'll change the name of this to test underscore index underscore returns underscore first underscore position underscore of underscore item underscore in underscore a underscore list. Then remove index from the to-do list. DEF test underscore insert parentheses self colon at the end. A underscore list equal sign square bracket 0, 1, 2, quotes n. Self.assert is none parentheses. A underscore list dot insert parentheses. The terminal shows type error. Insert expected 2 arguments. Got 0. Put 0, 1 as my argument. Test is green again. Self.assert equal parentheses a underscore list comma square bracket 0, 1, 2, quotes n. The terminal shows assertion error. Put 1 comma to the left before 0. The test passes. So place the second item at index 0, which I gave as the first item. This means if I change 1, there will be a failure. Make it -1. The terminal shows assertion error. Change the first item to -1. The test passes. It moved everything from index 0 on to the right. What would happen if I tried to insert something in the middle of the list, for instance? Self.assert is none parentheses a underscore list dot insert parentheses 3, 1.5. Self.assert equal parentheses a underscore list comma square brackets -1, 0, 1, 2, quotes n. The terminal shows assertion error. There's 1.5 between 1 and 2 now. Add it. The test passes. It moved everything from index 3 and on to the right. I'll change the name of this to test underscore insert underscore item underscore at underscore given underscore index underscore in underscore a underscore list. Then remove insert from the to-do list. DEF test underscore pop parentheses self colon at the end. A underscore list equal sign square bracket 0, 1, 2, quotes n. Self.assert is none parentheses a underscore list dot pop parentheses. The terminal shows assertion error. N in quotes is not none. Comma before the closing parentheses, quotes n. The terminal shows assertion error. N is not none colon n. Change the assert is none to assert equal. The test passes. Self.assert equal, parentheses, a underscore list, comma, square bracket, 0, 1, 2, quotes n. The terminal shows assertion error. When I remove the n from the list, the test passes. Self.assert equal, parentheses, the underscore list dot pop, parentheses, comma, quotes n. The terminal shows assertion error. Change the n to 2. The test passes. Self.assert equal, parentheses, a underscore list, comma, square bracket, 0, 1, 2. The terminal shows assertion error. Remove the 2. The test passes. I'll change the name of this to say test underscore pop underscore removes underscore and underscore returns underscore last underscore item underscore from underscore a underscore list. Then take out pop from the to-do list. DEF test underscore remove parentheses self colon at the end. A underscore list equal sign square bracket 0, 1, 2, quotes n. Self.assert is none parentheses. A underscore list dot remove parentheses. The terminal shows type error. List.remove takes exactly one argument. 0 given. I'll put 0 in the parentheses. The test passes. Self.assert equal, parentheses, a underscore list, comma, square bracket, 0, 1, 2, quotes n. The terminal shows assertion error. Remove the 0 from the list. The test passes. What if I had the 0 in the list more than one time? Which one would it remove, or would it remove all of them? I'll add more zeros to the list. 0, 1, 0, 2, 0, quotes n. The terminal shows assertion error. Change the list to 1, 0, 2, 0, quotes n. The test passes. What if I try to remove something that's not in the list from the list? Self.assert is none parentheses, a underscore list or remove parentheses quotes not in list. The terminal shows value error. List.remove x, x not in list. I'll remove the things around the call. Hit enter twice, add with self.assert, raises parentheses value error, colon at the end, come down to the next line, move it to the right. The test passes. I will change the name of this to test underscore remove underscore first underscore instance underscore of underscore item underscore from underscore a underscore list. Then take out remove from the to-do list. DEF, test underscore reverse, parentheses, self, colon at the end. A underscore list equal sign, square bracket, 0, 1, 2, quotes n. Self.assert is none, parentheses. A underscore list dot reverse, parentheses. The terminal shows green. Self.assert equal, parentheses. A underscore list, square bracket, 0, 1, 2, quotes n. The terminal shows assertion error. Change the expectation to quotes n, 2, 1, 0. The test passes. I'll change the name to test underscore reverse underscore a underscore list. Then remove reverse from the to-do list. DEF, test underscore sort, parentheses, self, colon at the end. A underscore list equal sign, square bracket, 0, 1, 2, quotes n. Self.assert is none, parentheses, a underscore list dot sort, parentheses. The terminal shows type error. Less than not supported between instances of string and int. My list needs to be all strings or all numbers for this to work. I'll remove the things around the call. I actually don't need the variable. I could just call it on the call sort on the function directly, since I can't use the variable because of the exception. A, remove a underscore list equal sign. I still have the type error, enter before the line, add with self.assert raises parentheses type error, colon at the end, come down to the next line, move it to the right. Try this again with a different list. A underscore list equal sign, square bracket, 0, 1, 2, 3. Self.assert is none, parentheses. A underscore list dot sort, parentheses. The terminal shows green. Self.assert equal, parentheses, a underscore list, square brackets. The terminal shows assertion error. Add 0, 1, 2, 3. The test passes. The list did not change. I called sort on a list that's already sorted. So I'll change the list to something that's not. 0, 1, negative 1, 2, negative 2, 3, negative 3. The terminal shows assertion error. Change the expectation to negative 3, negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, 2, 3. the test passes. I'll change the name to test underscore sort underscore a underscore list. And remove sort from the to-do list. That's the last one. I'm going to add 3 more tests. One for getting items of a list, another for setting items in a list, and for viewing parts of a list. def test underscore getting underscore items underscore of underscore a underscore list, parentheses self, colon at the end. A underscore list equals sign square brackets, quotes first, comma, quotes second, comma, quotes third, comma, quotes dot 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 last. Self.assert equal, parentheses, a underscore list square bracket 0, comma, quotes as the expectation. The terminal shows assertion error. Change the expectation to quotes first. The test passes. This is the opposite of the index method. With that, I give the item I want. It gives me the index back. With this one, I give the index in square brackets. It gives me the item back. That means I can do this. Self.assert equal, parentheses, a underscore list, square brackets, a underscore list dot index, parentheses, quotes first, comma, quotes as the expectation. The terminal shows assertion error. Change the expectation to first. The test passes. Before I do that, I can also do this with negative numbers. The last item has an index of -1. Self.assert equal, parentheses, a underscore list, square brackets, -4, comma, quotes. The terminal shows assertion error. Change that to first. The test passes. The first item has an index of negative the length of the list. Self.assert equal, parentheses, underscore list, square brackets 2, comma, quotes. The terminal shows assertion error. Changes to third. The test passes. Self.assert equal, parentheses, a underscore list, square brackets, -2, comma, quotes. The terminal shows assertion error. Changes to third. The test passes. Self.assert equal, parentheses, a underscore list, square brackets 1, comma, quotes. The terminal shows assertion error. Changes to second. The test passes. Self.assert equal, parentheses, a underscore list, square brackets, -3, comma, quotes. The terminal shows assertion error. Changes to second. The test passes. Self.assert equal, parentheses, a underscore list, square brackets 3, comma, quotes. The terminal shows assertion error. Dot 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 last. The test passes. Self.assert equal, parentheses, the underscore list, square brackets, -1, comma, quotes. The terminal shows assertion error. ... last. The test passes. DEF test underscore setting underscore items underscore in underscore a underscore list, parentheses self, colon at the end. A underscore list equals sign square brackets, quotes first, comma, quotes second, comma, quotes third, comma, quotes ... last. A underscore list square brackets -1 equals sign quotes fourth. Self.assert equal, parentheses, a underscore list, comma, square brackets, quotes first, comma, quotes second, comma, quotes third, comma, quotes ... last. The terminal shows assertion error. Change the last item to quotes fourth. The test passes. This is just like giving a name to a variable. DEF test underscore viewing underscore parts underscore of underscore a underscore list, parentheses self, colon at the end. A underscore list equals sign square brackets, quotes A, comma, quotes B, comma, quotes C, comma, quotes D. Self.assert equal, parentheses, A underscore list square brackets 0, colon 2, comma, square brackets. The terminal shows assertion error. I will add quotes A, comma, quotes B in the square brackets. The test passes. This one takes two numbers separated by a colon. The first number is the index of the item I want to start at. The second number is the index of the item I want to stop at plus 1. In this case, A has an index of 0, B has an index of 1, so I give 0, colon 2. When the first index given is a 0, I can skip it. Self.assert equal, parentheses, underscore list, square brackets, colon 2, comma, square bracket. The terminal shows assertion error. Change this to quotes A, comma, quotes B. The test passes. Self.assert equal, parentheses, underscore list, square brackets 1, colon 4, comma, square brackets. The terminal shows assertion error. Add quotes B, comma, quotes C, comma, quotes D. The test passes. When the second number is equal to or greater than the length of the list, I can skip it. Self.assert equal, parentheses, underscore list, square brackets 1, colon, comma, square brackets. The terminal shows assertion error. Add quotes B, comma, quotes C, comma, quotes D. The test passes. Self.assert equal, parentheses, a underscore list, square bracket, 0, 3, comma, square brackets. The terminal shows assertion error. Add quotes A, comma, quotes B, comma, quotes C. The test passes. Self.assert equal, parentheses, a underscore list, square brackets, 1, 3, comma, square brackets. The terminal shows assertion error. Add quotes B, comma, quotes C. The test passes. Self.assert equal, parentheses. I can also skip both numbers, so add a underscore list, square brackets, comma, square brackets as the expectation. The terminal shows assertion error. I get the entire list back. Or I could just say a underscore list dot copy parentheses. There's a name for this. I'll add it to the test. Test underscore viewing underscore parts underscore of underscore a underscore list underscore aka underscore slicing. There's one more test. This one is for an exception. Anytime I see this, I know that I am working with a list or the underlying data structure is a list. DEF test underscore index underscore error parentheses self colon at the end. A underscore list equals sign square brackets quotes A comma quotes B comma quotes C comma quotes D. A underscore list square brackets 3. When I do this, I have no issues. I'm just pointing to the last item in this list. Any higher than that, I'm pointing to something that's not in the list. Change the 3 to 4. The terminal shows index error. List index out of range. Hashtag index error in the list of exceptions encountered. Then hit enter twice before the line, add with self.assert, raises, parentheses, index, error, colon at the end, come down to the next line, move it to the right. This happens with negative numbers as well. A underscore list, square brackets, -4. No issues. I'm pointing to the first item in this list. Any lower than that, I'm pointing to something that's not in the list. Changes to -5. The terminal shows index error. List index out of range. Enter before the line, add with self.assert, raises, parentheses, index, error, colon at the end, come down, move it to the right. The test passes. It also happens with empty lists. If I do square brackets dot pop parentheses, the terminal shows index error, pop from empty list. Enter before the line, add with self.assert, raises, parentheses, index, error, colon at the end, come down here, move it to the right. The test passes. I cannot remove the last item from a list that has no items. That would be like doing square brackets, -1. terminal shows index error, list index out of range. This would happen with any index I give because the list is empty. Enter before the line, add with self.assert raises parentheses index error colon at the end, come down to the next line, move it to the right. The test passes. I ran tests to show that I can make a list with the constructor. I can also do it with square brackets, and added tests for the attributes and methods, then tested the methods from append all the way up to sort. Also added tests for getting items, setting items, slicing a list, and of course the index error, which I think is the important exception to know when working with lists. Would you like to test list comprehensions? I'll see you in the next one.